Michelle made just one mistake, but her younger U.S. teammate Sarah Hughes was perfect. 4 years after getting silver in Nagano, she took bronze in Salt Lake City.
My heart really broke for Michelle. Just broke. I mean, I'm sitting in the crowd, and it was just so sad to see that happen again. I don't know how she can, pull herself back up and keep on competing after she's, gone through these heartbreaks. But I think all these heartbreaks are making her tougher.
At a stage of her career when most champions would retire from Olympic skating, Michelle chose to go on testing herself in the crucible of competition, placing herself under pressure to see what would come out.
I don't think that Michelle's skating is about medals. I think it's about challenging herself and scaring herself to death. I think she thrives on competition.
She's not afraid to take a chance, and she's not afraid to be a warrior.
1 year after Salt Lake City, Michelle came back to the Worlds and faced all challengers, and won again. No woman in the sport's modern era has more world titles than Michelle Kwan. But she continues to pursue the one dream that has eluded her so far. Michelle Kwan has always been a hard worker. It was a quality instilled in her by her parents, immigrants from China and Hong Kong, who stressed the importance of hard work. The Kwans came to the U.S. in the 1970s, seeking a better life for the next generation.
When my grandparents first came over, they worked at a restaurant for a couple of years before they made enough money to buy the property and start the restaurant.
I remember talking to my father about when he came to the United States and he had absolutely nothing in his pocket. And having that sort of feeling, going somewhere, being scared, but being ambitious and being a hard worker, you can get very far.
The Kwans settled in Southern California. Michelle's father worked for the phone company. Her mother stayed at home with her 3 children. Michelle and her siblings grew up speaking Cantonese and eating many of their meals at the family-owned Chinese restaurant. Skating started as a lark.
She gets on the ice and barely could even walk around the rink, but she loved it. Pretty soon, she was jumping around, doing spins. You can say that I was probably her first coach. I was the first one to kind of walk her around the rink a little bit, and didn't take long before she started showing me how to skate.
Michelle and her older sister Karen fell in love with figure skating right from the start.
We used to skate early in the morning, so we would just sleep in our tights and sleep in our little outfits and roll out of bed and get in the car. We'd wake up with each other and go to the rink with each other and spend the whole day with each other. And as we got older, we would even compete together. And when we skated together, it was just, it was so nice to have your best friend, looking over and saying, oh, you're doing this wrong or you're doing that wrong, and why don't we, have a competition. Let's see who can do the most double axels.
What started as a hobby quickly became a passion.
Michelle Kwan.
About 8 and 10. That's when we got really serious. We're like, we could be good at this. Yeah, we could go to the Olympics.
Once the girls got serious about competing, they rearranged their entire lives so they could train 4 or 5 hours a day.
We had a really hectic schedule. We would skate at 3 o'clock in the morning. We'd get at least 3 or 4 sessions in before going to school. It's like 9:45 in the morning. After school, we'd go straight to the rink. And then we would go to my grandparents' restaurant and have dinner and then rush home and then try to maybe catch 30 minutes of TV if we were lucky and then go to sleep. And then start all over again the next day.
More hours on the ice meant more coaches' fees and more ice time. It all added up. The Kwans didn't realize it at first, but they had started down a path that would eventually lead them into serious financial hardship.
My mom had to work a second job, and my dad was working, a lot of hours during the day just to support us.
I have pictures of, I've got holes in the tights, and I've got hand-me-downs of like a figure skating little outfit, and, little rips and holes and gloves with holes. We were just lucky to be on the ice and have a coach. I just remember growing up, we would save every penny. We would have this 5-gallon jug. Every single penny had to go into that jug. And we'd buy groceries with that money. And I remember going to school, and all my friends' parents had really nice cars, and my dad had this really beat-up blue car, and he'd just drive us to school. And I'd be like, Dad, can you, And I didn't want to hurt his feelings because I knew that I wasn't very proud of the car, but I'd tell him, Dad, it's okay, you can just drop us off back here, it's all right, because all my friends are waiting out there.
As Karen and Michelle got better at skating, the costs skyrocketed. There were more lessons, costs of traveling to competitions and buying costumes and customized skates.
In the beginning, I thought I can afford it, but later on, then I got deeper, and I said, oh God, it's expensive.
At one point, there was not even enough money to buy a family Christmas tree.
So there was a contest at school, and if you can thread popcorn, the longest string of popcorn, you win a tree, a little miniature tree with little decorations. And I looked at the tree, I was like, oh, I have to win this, because my sister and I begged my parents to get a Christmas tree, never got one. So in 1 minute, I swear my thread of popcorn was from here to San Francisco. And I had my eyes set on that tree and won that Christmas tree, and I took it home. So after school, my dad came to pick me up, and I said, Dad, look. That was a very, very special Christmas, because we actually had presents under a Christmas tree.
Ultimately, Michelle's parents sold their home in upscale Palos Verdes to help finance the girls' skating.
So I think we better, sell the house and then get a smaller house instead.
The day came when the Kwans could no longer keep up with the cost of keeping 2 daughters in elite skating, which soared to over $50,000 a year.
At that point, we were almost in debt.
I talked to Karen and I talked to Michelle too. At the same time, I said, you know what? If you want to skate, maybe you don't need the lesson for a while. I think you can practice what you learned in the past, because I can't afford to pay for it no more. Because I don't want to, put the whole family in jeopardy.
Michelle Kwan's father wanted to support his daughter's dreams, but his bank balance had reached zero. He could no longer afford to pay for lessons.
That was tough, because you go to a competition and there's your father standing next to the rink, next to the boards, and whereas other skaters had the coach.
That season, 10-year-old Michelle had her best regional competition ever, attracting the attention of a talent scout who offered both Kwan girls a scholarship to the world-famous Ice Castle International Training Center. But Ice Castle was in Lake Arrowhead, California, a 2.5-hour drive from the family home. So Michelle's father made a 5-hour round-trip commute each day to stay with the girls, while her mother remained in LA with the girls' older brother, Ron.
We just moved everything from our house into this little tiny cottage that had, a tiny little bathroom and a bunk bed and a big bed, all within one room, no kitchen or anything like that. It was really, really interesting being in a facility where people ate and slept figure skating.
The two sisters would now train with one of the most sought-after coaches in the world, Frank Carroll.
Working with Frank Carroll, this famous, famous coach, it was such an amazing place to train. It was like a serious rink. It was there because people wanted to be the best. They wanted to go to the Olympics and they wanted to win. So that was the atmosphere that I wanted.
I think she was about maybe 11 years old, and I was May.